Hi, it's Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're going to take a look at Inwin's latest fans. These are the Inwin Lynx LN120 ARGB 3-pack. These are available in both black and white, and also in two sizes. So there's the LN120, which is the 120mm fans, and there's also the LN140mm fans, both again available in both black and white. Now these have got something actually quite unusual about them, and they've actually used a very common PC protocol in order to daisy chain fans, which is absolutely brilliant. A lot of us these days are getting a little bit fed up with all the wiring and cable management when we have multiple fans inside of our PCs. So Inwin have used the USB Type-C connection, but not in its traditional sense. They've used this to transmit PWM data and also addressable RGB data, making for a very, very clean looking installation. At the moment, these are retailing somewhere around the $49 mark over on inwin.com for those of you in the US. And for those of you in Europe and the UK, prices will be listed in the video description. So check out the links to see what the latest pricing is near you. At the time of recording, these are very, very new on the market, so they're not available in many retailers here in the UK. But like I said, I will update the description in the video so you can check out other options should they become available. So going back to the fans. So daisy chaining fans is something that a lot of us like to do, especially if you're using larger cases where you've got lots and lots of fans. It makes wiring much easier, but quite often that will come at a significant cost increase depending on the brand of fans you're getting, and potentially some slightly cheaper brands may go for really elaborate ways of connecting fans together, but the fans themselves are, well, pretty much trash. This, on the other hand, Inwin have gone back to the drawing board. They've redesigned their fans, they've redesigned the blades, they've also redesigned the motor itself and added in new PWM ICs to make sure that your fans ramp up and ramp down at the quietest rates possible. Now, these are actually touted as being Inwin's quietest fans ever, and I've got to say, considering the RPMs that these things can go up to, I'm very tempted to agree with them. Now, when they've said that these are their quietest fans, they're basically not kidding. Now these, even at full load, will go up to somewhere around about 26 dBA over ambient. So yeah, they are pretty quiet, and obviously they are moving a significant amount of air when they're spinning at their maximum rotation speed, which is 2300 RPM. Yep, you heard that right, 2300 RPM, which is pretty incredible. And also they do spin down. They do say on the website that it goes down to 900 RPM, but actually in my testing, I've managed to get these down to around about 550, 600 RPM. And it pretty much most speeds, they're absolutely silent. Certainly when you get over around about 1600 RPM, you certainly do notice there is a little bit of noise, but that is mostly the sound of airflow, which unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast. So let's quickly run down the specifications of these things. So they are 5V 3-pin addressable RGB and 4-pin PWM, so nice standard connections there. When it comes to the actual rotation speed, like we said, so they're rated at 900 to 2300 RPM, but like I said, I got it down to around about 550, 600. In terms of the actual amount of air they're moving, so at the lowest speed, you're looking around about 24.5 CFM, and at the top rating, 61.2 CFM. But what for me is more important is the static pressure. So even at the lowest spin speed, you're looking at 0.15 millimeters H2O, and going up to a pretty decent 3.04 H2O pressure at 2300 RPM, which means this is going to be absolutely fine. So if you want to use it as case fans, excellent. If you want to use it on your radiators, your water cooling equipment, no problems at all, or maybe even put one on your CPU cooler. So with all that out of the way, let's take a look and see what we actually get. So you can see the packaging here, so pretty nice retail packaging, and on the back goes through the specifications. So I'll give you some close-ups of that. When you're actually taking them out of the box, it's actually really nice that the fact that the fans are actually pre-assembled, and you've got a little thing there saying go cable free. Inside the box, the fans are actually pre-connected, so they're all linked together. So if you want to use this straight away on a 360mm rad, they're basically ready to go. Or if you're putting them into the front of the PC where you've got space for 3 120mm fans, then that's absolutely fine. Now the cool thing about these, like I said previously, is the fact that these are using a USB Type-C protocol to actually connect together. So as you can see, we're using male and female, depending on which end of the fans you're actually on. So these are daisy chainable, so just a quick pull, and they come apart pretty easily. Taking a look at the accessories, so if you do want to use it in a setup where maybe you've got a 240mm AIO, and maybe you want to use a case fan at the rear, or maybe you want to put this onto, I don't know, some other thing, maybe onto the bottom of your case, whatever, you can do. There is included a USB male to female fly lead, which got a pretty decent length on it, so if you want to put them somewhere else, you definitely can do. The only thing to do is to make sure that you've got the right end, so male and female, plug one end into one fan, then on the other, just check which one you've got and find the male to female. And there you go. So basically that is your fans daisy chained, but still separated a little bit, which is actually really useful in certain circumstances. Again, if you're going for the 140s, a lot of cases won't take 3 140s up front. So if you want to put 2 in the front, maybe 1 at the back, then you definitely can do. There's a lot of cable room there to separate them up should you need to. Another nice feature, which is completely unnecessary, but I quite like anyway, is the fact that the actual USB Type-C connections actually have illumination there, which lights up a very small Inwin logo, which hopefully I've got to use some footage of. I think that's a nice little touch. It basically means that they're connected. So if for some reason your fans aren't working, look at the connector. Is it illuminated? If not, your fans aren't going to work. Check your wiring. When it comes to checking the wiring, it's very easy to do. Let's take a look at the accessories and the wiring kit which is provided. So your main wiring kit is this here. So this wiring is your standard 4-pin PWM and also the standard 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB, which you see on pretty much all modern motherboards. And there's a nice long cable there. You've also, on the addressable RGB side of it, you've also got a pass-through as well. So if you want to daisy chain even more, you can do. Although I would say do check with your motherboard to make sure that your headers are able to connect up multiple devices. So check out your amperage, etc. And also something which Inwin always do really, really well is the actual RGB connections. So if you take off the end there, you can see there's a really nice clasp on there, which holds these things together. As we know, sometimes these addressable RGB connections have a tendency to come loose if the wires may be pulled or something. So having that actual latch on there, holding it in place, is a really nice little touch. On the other side, like I said, 4-pin normal PWM, so plug that into your chassis fan header on your motherboard or wherever you want to plug it into. And that terminates then to our USB Type-C connection, again with the illuminated Inwin logo on there. So you can just plug that into your motherboard, straight into the fans, and you've basically got 3 fans connected using 2 wires, which is pretty cool. Also included, you're going to get some mounting accessories. So you get 3 sets of silver screws. If you're using the white fans, if you're using the black fans, you'll get black screws. And also, if you're planning to use these on a radiator, they've gone ahead and actually included rad fan screws in there. So these are 25mm thick. So if you do want to use them on a radiator, these screws will make it absolutely fine. Or maybe you've got a slightly older, or maybe a slightly cheaper brand, maybe you've got some Thermalright or something, and you want to upgrade the fans, then you can quite simply put these onto your Thermalright AIO and have an increase in performance. So these are excellent design. They look nice, easy to use, and the linking technology I think is actually something which I'm surprised nobody else has done it yet. I think it makes a perfect solution using the USB Type-C as a connector we've all kind of seen and used before, so we kind of know what the deal is. But it comes down to, are they actually good? Are they quiet? And what do they look like? So I've actually pre-recorded these fans being at their lowest speed and also 50% and also at full speed. So I'll let you have a listen to those now so you can see what you think of them. So there you go, that is what they actually sound like. Again, it's very difficult to kind of get across to you what they actually sound like, but they are very, very quiet. And in terms of the amount of airflow, I've got my anemometer and put those in front of them so you can see how many meters per second or how many miles per hour these are actually able to produce. So you can take a quick look at those. And we should take some consideration to the actual RGB lighting. I find the RGB on these actually very bright. So they've done a pretty good job on here. You have got the translucent blades, and also the blade design has got the actual kind of outer ring as well, which also increases the airflow because it's kind of trapping rather than spinning off and just going off any direction. It's focused towards the direction it's supposed to travel, which is very useful. And I think Inwin were one of the first people that did that with their previous Saturn fans, which some other brands have actually copied the design of. And another feature of the RGB lighting is the center hub. So rather than having it just very bland and boring, it's almost a hypnotic hub. Maybe they're trying to hypnotize you into buying many, many more of their fans. But yeah, I think it's quite a nice look. Not for everyone, but let me know what you think in the comments. But overall, I think the RGB looks great. They sound fantastic. And to be honest with you, bearing in mind the construction quality, obviously these aren't cheap fans, around about $50 for 3 fans, £15 each roughly, give or take. Isn't the cheapest, but certainly if you want something quality and something which is going to last and something more importantly, which is going to be powerful and also quiet, then I definitely think these are worth taking a look at. Again, there'll be links in the video description so you can check out the local pricing near you. But let me know what you think about these ones in the comments section. Overall, very pleased with these and highly recommended if you can find them at a suitable price near you. So there you go, that has been the Inwin Lynx LN120 ARGB. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.